Good morning. Friday morning, chasing two motorcycles today. One is in Rutherford, North Carolina. The other is in close to Hendersonville. So, lots of driving today, but it's better than sitting at home doing nothing. However, I don't just do nothing. I watch YouTube. And from there, I find links to truth. And that's the only truth out there. It's on the internet. If you're watching mainstream at all, you're an idiot. Turn it off. Best thing that ever happened to us was about 8 years ago. We couldn't pay our bills. 14 years ago, excuse me. Couldn't pay our bills and they cut off our cable TV. In the beginning, it was like they'd cut off our heroin supply. But now, God, I can't even look at TV. It's so mind-numbingly stupid. I can't even watch it. I like watching the news. The guy sitting there in his t-shirt and his cat or dog walks by. That's real. It's called real. And that's the news of the future. And that's what it is now. Only place you're going to get news. And after the change comes and everything, and the swamp is finally drained, I was just thinking the other night how, like the movies and stuff, it's going to be made from what all is going on now, with the extraterrestrials helping us and the underground battling and all the stuff that's going on that we can't be told about right now. It's going to make some great movies. The music is going to get real again. That's where I come in. You see, because I'm 70, but they're going to make me 40 years younger. Actually, I think I'm going to be 26. They can put you in any age you want. The way the med bed works is it photographs your body, and then it can thumb through the photographs back to any point in your life it wants to. And it'll go back to where I'm 26 years old. It'll take a picture of me at 26 years old, and then they flip a switch, and then you come out of the med bed a exact copy of that. I'm sorry, it's real. I've heard too many people confirming it. The med beds are that freaking advanced. That's why everybody's going to want to get in them, because anything that's wrong with you, they'll fix. If you got mental problems, they'll fix that. It's just a flip of a switch. It's just that simple. In fact, if you're dead, I think less than 72 hours, they can bring you back to life. Secret space program people talk about this all the time. If there's just a piece of your body left, they can make you again. They tell the pilots, excuse me, I have to do that. They tell the rescue pilots if they come upon a body that's been blown up, to try to get a piece of the brain, because that way they can remake the guy or girl, and he'll still have his memories and stuff. I mean, Jesus, the world we're going into, guys. Nothing you're doing right now really you're just kind of biding time right now. And in the background, you need to be planning out what you've always wanted to do in your life. With age not being a problem, health not being a problem, money not being a problem, because that's what's coming. That's what's coming. And it's just right at our doorstep. Not years away. Days away, okay? Not years away, not weeks away, days away. When you see the military step up and say they're taking over, that's your first sign that, okay, it's on, it's all good, yay, 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 here we go. It's going to be something. Okay, somebody was concerned because I watch tarot card reader and some psychics. Okay, my Bible says ye shall know them by their fruit. Okay? And that's, you got to do that. There are 5 gift ministries. Let's see if I can. Evangelist, teacher, prophet, evangelist, pastor, prophet. What's the other one? What's the last one? Paul was one. Not a prophet, but not evangelist. It's I'll think of it in a minute. Doesn't matter. There's 5 gift ministries. Okay, now one of them is prophet. Okay, prophet is a person who can get information about future events and then tell you about it. So you can pray and change it, or you can pray and make it happen. Either way, they have a special gift. You don't have to have the gift to get information like that. But if you have a prophetic gift, you'll be really good at it. And usually from a very young age. Problem is, people are not trained, so they don't know they have a prophetic gift. They just think they're psychic, okay? So a lot of these psychics call themselves psychics. They're actually a prophet. Problem is, the bad guy, the devil, he's sending out information too. So you have to learn to discern who's talking to you as a psychic or a prophet, and try not to broadcast anything that you got from the wrong source. Now, you as the listener can do the same. If you hear it, just weigh it out and check their fruit and go from there. So, but prophets they can look up in their head and get words, visions, whatever, and they can. Why couldn't they use cards? Why couldn't they use a divining pendulum thing? You know, why couldn't they use different ways to get that information? Automatic writing, you know, where you just sit there and you start writing, and then you look at what you wrote. Just know them by their fruit. That's all you got to do. Know them by their fruit. Churches are. If I open my school, it's one thing we will do is we will train churches how to lose their religion and get real and just be spiritually in tune and know what's really going on. Because the churches are going to be a bunch of empty buildings. Because who in the hell? Who goes there now? You know, it's just so dull and boring and same old stupid messages over and over. If angels and stuff like that are not showing up at the meeting, or people's at least getting healed and getting out of their wheelchair, and blind being made to see and so forth and so on, you know, it's not really at the level it needs to be. But I'm not saying there's a whole lot of that going on, but talk is cheap. It's time for some action. But I think that's why the med beds are coming, because we've been so cheated by these evil forces that have taken over our planet. I think God's given us He's given us a break. He sees that we're so far behind because we've been cheated unfairly. Come here, Charlie. Come on. And that's why He's going to give us the med beds, so we can go ahead and advance a couple hundred years. He's just giving us a pass. That's all. He just wants, you know what God wants? It's in the Bible. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers. And everybody always leaves that last, as thy soul prospers, off. Okay, well, right now, soul is prospering. So your soul is rising up right now. And as that happens, prosper and be in health. That's what God wants more than anything. And now He's just going to hand you the soul part's going, and He's just going to hand us the money and the health, because He wants us to get onto what we were supposed to do, which is on earth as it is in heaven. This is the kingdom age. This is the age where we take over the planet, and it turns into heaven on earth. That's where you're alive. You're here. You made it. That's what's happening right now. Heaven on earth. It is not the Revelation days. It's not the Antichrist days. That's later. I think the Jewish calendar is correct. It says we got about 213 years till the last 7 years where the Antichrist shows up and all that. And then Jesus comes back, and then, he comes before that. Then we go into the 1,000-year millennium. The millennium's later. This is the kingdom age. I think it's going to last about 200 years. And Jesus is going to come back not to save us out of misery, but he's going to come back and go, good job, great, let's go. And then we'll take off, and then the 7 years will happen with people who did not believe. And they'll stay here with the Antichrist and go through all that shit. And then we'll come back in 7 years, and we'll pick them all up. And there'll still be some people that don't believe. So they get to hang around for 1,000 years while we fly around in our etherical bodies trying to help them. And then at the end of 1,000 years, we'll all come back, and that'll be the final cut. And then God is going to move heaven to earth and operate from Jerusalem. Probably going to leave heaven where it's at too, as like a tourist destination, but heaven will be moved. God's headquarters will be moved to earth. So there's your future. Looks pretty bright.